Hi everyone, and welcome to my fresh channel. My name is Virginia, and I will present here a channel of. I will talk about books, maybe about movies. Actually, my first aim was to make a radio show and a podcast collection to talk about some specific topics, but recently I couldn't find a partner, a speaker partner for my radio show, and I think that single speaking radio show are quite boring. So instead I will make videos, and you may learn more about me during these videos, so I will not be long about this. Today I want to present you just two things. The first is a book. It is the book that Naomy Klein published in 2007, so it's not one of her last. And this was the first book I've read from her. This is the Italian copy. It's called Shock Economy, but the original title of it was called the Shock Doctrine. I really recommend to read this book because it gives you the idea of why what is the real connection between the police and the violence and the neoliberalism and a neoliberal state. So how a state and a government choose to apply some not very happily accepted law and decision, especially about economy, but not only. This regards the entire state. And in order to do that, it needs to use the help of police. We see it every day. At least I experienced it many times in my life. I lived in many countries, and I always saw that the growth of the presence of police in the daily life in cities. And these books really enlighten what is this strong connection. I liked it how it is made since the beginning. Naomy Klein, she is starting speaking about the real shock doctrine, which was used by some psychiatrists in hospitals for people who had some psychological disease, even small ones, and they were using electroshock to them in order to erase completely their personality, and then they wanted, this is was their aim, to rebuild a new personality out of this completely empty space. But what they found out, it was not that they couldn't rebuild something new over a kind of a dead mind, but more they just broke people in that way. And it's the same that happened with states. So she's bringing many examples of countries in which they were having first social oriented state, and then they had to apply neoliberal rules in the state, and they had to do it with violence because there were many people they wouldn't agree with it otherwise. So she's starting to speak about some state of the South America, but she's also speaking about Russia. And then she's bringing some examples about some more recent things, like the war in Iraq, and that is so-called the economy of disaster. So why some private organization, can take advantage of and how they can take advantages in some very terrible and sad situation, like after a tsunami, after an earthquake, and so on. So this is a book that I really recommend because of all things I just said. The second suggestion that I have for you today, it is a documentary. It is called A Plastic Ocean, and it's very nice. It is available on YouTube, and it talks about the situation of today's oceans and the problem of plastic that we are living today. So how the plastic goes in the ocean, and how much plastic do we have there, and why it is so bad. We all know plastic is bad. We all know that pollution is bad, but we don't know unless we are not digging into those information and do some small researches about those topics, and we can find really a sea of information over the internet, and so it is very easy to make research about this. We don't know the real amount of plastic that we are living in, and how much it is affecting our life even without us recognizing it. So for this reason, I think this is one very urgent topic that may bring more awareness to people, and maybe it will make small changes, like maybe people after seeing this documentary will start to refuse single-use plastic, and maybe they also started to think more about what they use in their daily life and to reduce the amount of their waste. Thank you very much, and see you soon.